Hey, you like Sybil Danning's tits? I got a movie for ya. Oh, fuck.
Tearing you apart with its pounding. Where do you go? You can't run away.
Hey guys, where am I? What is this place? This is Millennium Fandom Bar. And why am I here? Well, I am currently conducting very special, super secret, socially distanced, regulated, whatever words that help you sleep better at night, interviews for the upcoming Blu-ray release of my feature film, The Head. Quite simply, the movie is not big enough to fit on a Blu-ray and not be a waste of Blu-ray space. So I decided, hey, let's just make like a feature-length featurette for the movie. So look forward to that, man. Or don't, I don't care. Either which way, we got one camera, we got two cameras. We are rocking and rolling. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. And today we are talking about a very special film, and by very special film I mean one you probably don't care about. They're Playing with Fire, starring Sybil Danning and some fuckhead kid. Drive-In Goddess and 80s action queen Sybil Danning, Howling 2, Chained Heat, Reform Schoolgirls, stars as a lusty college professor who seduces a naive student. Eric Brown, Private Lessons, another film where he has a romantic relationship with an older woman, and I question the motives of the older woman because who the fuck, this kid's... Anyway, as part of a sordid plot to frame him for the murder of her wealthy in-laws. But in a world of passion and deceit, not everything is what it seems. Andrew Prine, The Centerfold Girls, Paul Clemens, The Beast Within, and soap star Katie Stevens, The Young and the Restless.
Come on out or I'll blow your ass off.
Co-star in this deliciously sleazy mix of sex and violence that Mr. Skin, you're gonna use Mr. Skin... Come on, you're Kino Lorber. Jesus, okay. That Mr. Skin hails as one of the weirdest entries in the genre, combining hormone farce antics with slasher movie elements, and of course, Sybil's sumptuous sax. Her sumptuous sax. Co-written and directed by Howard Avitas. Mortuary. Yeah, it's... So, as you can see, Playing with Fire, it's not a particularly... It's bare bones. It is a very simple, basic Kino Lorber release. Nothing crazy. I love this cover, by the way. I love how it does not in any way really denote the tone of the film. Because this is a movie that really goes hog wild. It does not seem terribly interested in maintaining a single style, a single mode of pacing, a single genre. It is all over the place. It starts off as a pretty simple, as the back covers, as the insert says, sex farce. And you have this teacher. She's a professor. She has a PhD, and her husband also is a teacher with a PhD. And they, for whatever reason, just really need money, even though they are both PhD professors. I guess they're just in a shitty job, I guess. They both seem old enough to have gotten past student loans, or at least like gotten a hold on them. Maybe they made some bad decisions. Either which way, they live on a boat, and they trick this kid, this shitty, snot-nosed little piece of fuck, who I was convinced was in high school. I was very confused by the plot for a while because I was convinced he was in high school. There's no way that this kid was in college, but he is. And he gets into this affair with Sybil Danning, who looks like she's going to eat him alive at any point in the film. And they embark on this affair. She ends up pulling him into this plot to scare her husband's older relatives.
She comes from a poor family. She's not one of us.
So that they can gain control of the big house and the fortune or whatever. It's all very contrived. It's a very contrived film. And I'm normally when a movie is this contrived, I think I can see that there is somewhere they're trying to go. I see that there is, it's like, okay, it's all contrived to get to this big, wacky, whatever second act. And I don't get that here, because this is really, if you gave all of these actors really bad dubs and an Italian director, this would be a giallo film. It is incredibly sleazy. It, as I said, has severe tonal inconsistencies. It makes a lot of leaps, and it has a final reveal that is straight out of one of those films. I could see this being, it's not really an Argento twist, but like maybe an Umberto Lenzi or even maybe a Sergio Martino, where it just, you see the final twist and you're like, oh, that's fucking weird. But at the same time, this is a twist that you can see coming a mile away. It is, I had an inkling early on. I will say this, there were enough options given to me over the course of the film where I thought, okay, maybe I know where this is going, maybe I don't know where this is going. And I had an inkling that it could be one character who was the killer. Spoilers, there's a killer, and it's gnarly. And I wound up being right, but they kept throwing enough curveballs, enough red herrings, and enough weird, confusing plot points that I only really figured it out maybe for certain, 15 minutes before the reveal. Unfortunately, that's about 10 minutes longer than any mildly intelligent audience member would have figured it out. They go a while before finally making the big reveal, and it's confusing because you basically, the killer has a mask, but you basically see his face. You see his lips and his eyes, and you can basically, you can tell that it is this particular character, and the movie thinks it's smart, I guess, and it just keeps going. And finally, there's a point where they finally reveal who it is, and it's such a foregone conclusion for us as the audience that when the character says, "Oh, it's such and such," you're like, yes, no shit. No shit, you little weasel person. There's also a lot of murky character motivations that I was not entirely sure of. For example, there is the girlfriend character, and I don't know what the deal is with this kid. I don't know why they cast this little shit. He has no chemistry with Sybil Danning, and she talks about this in her interview. He obviously does not want to be there. He's obviously not comfortable with any of the sexual aspects, even though this is very obviously a movie written to be extremely sexual. And he has this girlfriend who is way too hot for him and way too smart for him. He's so snivelly and shitty all the time that whenever she is around trying to kind of warn him away from this teacher, I don't even know if they're actually dating in the movie, but it seemed like that was his girlfriend.
You date whoever you want to date, and I'll date whoever I want. Let's just be friends, okay?
You're playing with fire, Jay.
But anytime she's trying to out the teacher as having this inappropriate affair, anytime she's trying to warn him that it's dangerous, anytime she's investigating into the plot, which I don't even know why she's so into it, but whatever, the question keeps coming up. What is her motivation for doing this? Why does she care about this guy? The movie never gives us any reason to think that he is of any importance whatsoever. And I don't get it. I don't understand. The worst thing about this film is it could have been I would say it's maybe like a 3-star out of 5 movie. It could have been easily a 3.5, 4-star Schlochter-piece kind of film. But this kid sucks so bad. This kid is. I would turn into a bully if I was around this kid. I would become that stereotypical. Who are the bullies in Power Rangers? Something and Skull. I would turn into Bulk and Skull from Power Rangers if I wound up anywhere, within 500 yards of this kid. He is such a little shit. And by the time, the ending comes around, nothing is earned for him. Everything is just given to this kid, basically. He is an absolute turd, and I fucking hate him. That's the long and short on Eric Brown. Fuck this kid. This kid is no Charlie Brewster. Him and Sybil Danning have about as much chemistry as a peanut butter sandwich and a pine cone. I don't get it. I just don't get it. I do not know why. Especially, there is a perfectly good romantic interest for Sybil Danning. The kid from The Beast Within is in this movie, and he has a significant enough role that he was obviously a big part of the schedule. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they only had him for a limited amount of time, and they I don't know, owed someone a really big favor to get rid of some very incriminating evidence. I don't know what the case is, but they have this perfectly good, handsome, charismatic actor. He's not too good in this movie, but I've seen him act perfectly well in other films, so I'm assuming that he could handle it. He would have been great opposite Sybil Danning. I could see them fucking and having a great time with it, having chemistry. She looks like she is going to bend this kid in the wrong direction, like the boyfriend in Freddy vs. Jason. Like she's just gonna snap this little shit like a fucking twig, and it basically ruins the movie, or at least ruins what it could have been, and that's frustrating. That's very frustrating because it is a fun idea, and it's so much of this kind of giallo aesthetic that it creates this very almost borderline experimental, schlocky, bizarre tone that is perfect schlock, perfect trash, except for the kid. It also goes total slasher movie in the last 15 minutes. The last 15 minutes are a straight up just a horror movie, and it's great. It takes some leaps. Like the first 15 minutes and the last 15 minutes are completely divorced from each other's realities. These are two completely different movies, and I gotta say, I loved it. I loved the aggressive granny violence in this film. They tie up a dog at one point. There's dog bondage, basically. It is a wild ride. It's too bad about the kid, but otherwise, pretty fun. I would say it's worth a watch. I don't know that anyone needs to own this movie, but it is a fun ride, and I think I'll watch it again. So at very least, there's that. And hey, if you like Sybil Danning's tits, most of the film is written to show you more of them. So there you go. Tons of titties. It's like the end credits to Howling 2 was its own movie, basically. For extras, there is a pretty savage interview that's almost 20 minutes long with Sybil Danning, and she basically, it's totally savage, and it basically reaffirms all of my issues with the kid actor and other feelings about the film. She talks about working with the director, how much of a great guy he was, more about her career, her kind of stance on sexuality and nudity in movies, and a bunch more stuff. It's a really good interview with Sybil Danning. I really like just listening to her talk. She's very self-assured. She's a very, very strong woman with a very strong business sense, and that's, I wouldn't say it's refreshing, but it's just nice to see. So that's the only extra. Very bare bones release. If you are thinking of buying this, I would say wait for another Kino sale. There's a sale going on right now. If you go to Kino Lorber, they're doing their little summer sale. I don't know how long this is going to last, so if it's within a few days of this video going up, get on over there. It's like $11 all said and done. I think it's like 63% off or something. So if you want to buy it, super cheap right now, go grab that thing and grab a bunch of other stuff. I bought a bunch from the Kino Lorber sale, tons of good stuff. They have a great Fritz Lang collection that I wish I could afford right now. A ton of Mario Bava stuff, quite a few Jess Franco releases, just a ton of great cinema, both of the classic and sleaze variety. So go over there, spend more money, fuck it. Whatever, the world's burning. Fuck it, buy some movies. In fact, go follow me on Twitter, go follow me on the Facebook, all the other social media entities that lord over our lives and create massive anxiety. Give me some money on the Patreon. We have a lot of fun over there. The Discord's really great. But most importantly, fuck it, go buy a movie.